Hello, we're back with another It's GIF, Not GIF podcast, and you can either hear or see that we're in new digs. If you can see it, they look like a spaceship waiting room. If you can't, they should sound better, so fingers crossed on that. So, it's a different lineup today. We've got Mark Shaxfield.
Hello.
John McCann.
Hello.
And Hugh and James are dying. We no confirmation on the rumours that they did a Lady in the Tramp style pasta dish.
They are definitely ill.
Both ill. But Patrick's in.
Subbed in at the last minute.
So just some house rules: no huffing, no sneezing. Apparently, according to these notes, no sneering, and please laugh at all jokes.
Who wrote the notes?
I can't make any promises.
Yeah,
you might have to label your jokes as jokes as well. So
You've got terrible handwriting.
So you can't read them. And
okay, good to know.
It didn't work for me either. Okay, so we're straight into the what if question, even though we have never done a what if really. So if you could create a dating site of your own, and this comes from the Disney's Mouse Mingle, which was creating your own dating site for people that like Disney characters, Disney things, Disney theme songs, all the above.
Yep.
Then if you can be that person and you create your own one, what would you create and why?
Why are you going to me first?
Because you're the prettiest.
Okay, good. So I this is terrible. I thought
it's a great way to start. It's a great way to start.
Why not have a dating site for tree doctors? And what would I call it?
They're called tree surgeons to start with.
Are they?
Yes.
Is it not like another version?
No.
Okay. Why don't we have a dating site for tree surgeons and I'd call it Timber? That's all I could think of.
I think you started with the timber thing and worked your way back.
I did. I was like, what rhymes with Tinder? Timber.
Doesn't rhyme.
Well, it's close.
You failed at that.
That's why. That's my answer.
So Dave Tavros, who created Mouse Mingle, one of his quotes was, in terms of why he created this, I told them, people trying to work out why he was single, among other reasons. I told them that I had tried them other dating sites, but there was no way to narrow down the searches to women in the right distance and age range who love Disney. That was the inception moment.
So I remember reading the Ashley Madison thing, and as a married man, I looked at that and I thought, how does anyone have the energy to have both a wife and also a lover? So my idea for
that says a lot about your relationship.
My idea for a dating site is actually for people who want to be seen to be dating, but actually just want to spend time playing computer games or doing something else. So
like a buddy up
so
site.
So basically, it's like a dating site, but actually you don't have to date anyone at the end. So you can just go and do whatever you want and then go back and say, I've had this wonderful date where I basically played Team Fortress.
Are you telling this to your wife?
Went through. Well, I don't need a dating website because I'm married. So
yeah. But you said that the Ashley Madison thing. Like, no one's got energy for two ladies. Maybe you could pretend you have two ladies, but the second one isn't real.
Would also work.
I want to know what the witty name is.
Yeah.
I haven't got a witty name because what I didn't do is start with a witty name and work my way backwards.
Well, that's
where
you failed, isn't it? But no, what you've described there is a friend site, really.
No, it's definitely not a friend site because I don't actually want any kind of.
So you don't want them to be friends. You don't want them to be friends or lovers.
It's essentially dating yourself.
Yeah,
that's getting intelligent conversation and being able to do whatever you want.
So it's a mirror.
Mirrordating.com.
Yeah.
Again, I've got no problem with that.
Go on.
Okay, so my idea is called Flushes.
Intrigued.
And it's a dating site for people who are very particular about the toilet roll. Do you put it on with the roll coming out the front or the back?
Always the front.
Why is the back a thing?
I don't know, and it really annoys me every time. But people
You're being
keep
quiet.
doing
What's that
it.
about?
Always a back boy.
And that,
I think you said back boy. I thought that sounded too wrong.
And it's really annoying. And just weed out the idiots and just give it the people who can put a toilet roll on a toilet roll holder correctly.
Yeah.
But I think that's a good point because you get quite far down a relationship before you realise, this is a problem.
Well, there's two things. It's people that don't change it, so you go, oh, why is there nothing there? And there's also the back ones, and that's they're both awful.
There is scope to expand the parameters.
Awful, but yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I couldn't think of one, so I googled mental dating sites and found a BuzzFeed article with lots of websites that are way better than what we could do.
Yeah, I might have gone on that.
So there's clown dating, explanatory. Diaper mates for adult babies and diaper lovers. Singles with food allergies, it gets better. Gluten-free singles. Mullet passions. Sea captain date.
Sea captain date. That's brilliant.
It's got a picture of Captain Birdseye and a pretty girl. So
well,
dating can be a stormy sea is the tagline.
I'm not convinced that any of these things are actually used. I think people just come up with an idea and
there's farmers only apparently. So.
Well, should one of us maybe go on Sea Captain Date and see what happens?
Well, you've volunteered yourself.
I'm happily married and I'm not a seafaring man. So
There's
I don't know
sugardaddy.com.
Yeah.
Is there?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, fine. I think we've covered the dating world
I think we
in its
have, yeah.
entirety. On to the actual podcast itself. So the first story this week is a man has sued Apple because it lost his tortoise.
No.
Not quite.
Not really. He's lost his picture of a tortoise biting
No.
his hand on
No,
his phone.
still wrong.
I said video, didn't I?
You said picture.
I said video.
There's probably a picture of it as well.
Some
Yeah.
quality hosting.
Exactly.
Right here.
Well, keeping things moving. So it took it to a Genius bar apparently, and it was a deletion that he didn't authorise, and that obviously
Factory
upset him.
reset.
Yes, exactly. So.
Oh, so I didn't know it was Apple themselves that reset it. I thought it was
Yes.
him being a
No.
and he thought he
So
sued
I've
Apple
lost
one.
everything, Apple. I'm going to sue you because
No,
I've
no.
lost everything. Right.
There was an issue with his iPhone 5, so he took it to a Genius bar and
Yeah.
they factory reset it, and he claimed that he wasn't told that they were going to reset it,
Yeah.
and thus lost all his honeymoon photos.
Yep.
Um,
So
and wasn't told.
So to quickly run through what happened,
Yeah.
the guy wanted $7,000-ish worth of compensation in product. He then lowered that for a settlement to, I think it was a monitor and another thing.
Printer.
There we
Of
go.
around £1,000.
Yes, and dollars, yeah. And it turns out Apple didn't want to settle, took it to court,
Yeah.
lost, and he paid the court costs out, I think, $1,200 altogether. What's weird about this, if you look at Apple's terms and conditions, is it says, and I've looked them up, and it says there's no liability for any data that's lost. It's pretty comprehensive, no liability more than the cost of the device, blah, blah, blah.
So why did they pay out?
I don't know.
Do you think they just got really... Do you think he was just constantly badgering them?
But
And they're like, oh, God, it's 1,800 quid.
But no,
Just
because
sort
it
it out.
opens a precedent, doesn't it? Anyone
Does.
could go, oh, well, this happened in the Genius bar, and, in fixing things do go wrong. That's the reason you have liability. And it opens up a whole can of worms. Crazy.
Yeah, it does. And it's the whole... Why was it on his iCloud? There's many questions here.
Yeah. Patrick?
Well, he's given them shell, hasn't he? I'm kind of conflicted about this because there's a little bit of me that wonders what kind of person is that upset by a turtle video.
It was
video.
his honeymoon
It's
video.
all that. It's
Yeah.
not just the video; it was all his honeymoon
tortoise.
videos.
Oh right, okay. So the
We-
tortoise
we-
thing is just an easy
pictures.
headline.
So we took that headline because it was a good one.
Right. I mean, it's obviously
Internet.
upsetting. You go to these things expecting people to treat you with competence. That's clearly not happened in this case.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got to feel for him. I think compensation is interesting because everyone I know would assume you wouldn't get anything back. They would just be really, really upset by it, and then they would leave it. So I mean, he's followed through. That's impressive. I mean, he's put his head out of the
Just like I said, at the shell. I don't know
shell.
what you're
Yeah,
with
lots of stuff.
Same one again.
but I think it's interesting. I wonder if that's going to really open the floodgates in terms of people
I
doing
hope
that.
it doesn't.
Well, do you think, like, back in the olden days when you actually got film developed, do you think anybody got sued because they lost their film and stuff? I'm sure that would not have happened. I'm sure there's a liability thing that said we accept no liability at all. And
Yeah,
that must be
I-
exactly something like Apple, nearly $1 trillion company is going to have that, like you said.
Would you?
So why have they paid out?
Do you think they get annoyed? He'd get annoyed if they got his iPhone and just shrunk it down, like squished it,
Why?
because the next version of the iPhone could be thinner.
Could be. Yes. Segway.
Look at me moving on. So obviously the point is that iPhones are getting thinner and thinner. All phones are. And one of the
They
problems,
are.
the constraints of this is the actual 3.5mm headphone jack. It's 3.5mm. Needs a little bit around it. It makes phones too thick. That's a problem, everyone. And
It
makes
is.
us all sad at
Well,
night.
It's not necessarily a problem.
Yeah. Well, I
But
think it is. If
manufacturers
Apple and
are-
Samsung say it is, then it is.
Well, fair enough.
So the next iPhone could just use the Lightning port. It can display power. It can give out power. It can give out audio. It can do all that already. So why have a headphone jack at all? That's the theory. I think we still need it, John.
I'm not too bothered. I'm really, in the last sort of 2 years, I'm really invested in Bluetooth headphones now. They're the
Yeah.
future. There's no wires to get tangled in. They're great. I hate using wired headphones now. Really, really annoying. So a move to wireless, especially with a mobile device, it just makes a lot of sense. And for someone to take the first step, it's a bold step, and there'll be lots of people saying, "Oh no, it's rubbish." But as soon as Apple do it, you can be guaranteed everyone else will follow. And in 3 or 4 years' time, every phone that's coming out won't have one.
I don't think it's just wireless, so I think you're right about the Lightning jack. I think they're going to use that a lot more. And I think that's Apple's way of getting them back on. So Beats with the Lightning connection, you can only go with Beats. It feels like that's sort of Apple way of doing things.
It is convenient that Apple now own Beats headphones.
It is, isn't
It's
it?
very convenient.
Well, I don't know if this is going to happen. I think this might be someone leaping to a conclusion that's not there for a couple of reasons. They give away headphones in the box at the moment.
Yeah.
which they increasingly tell us are great headphones, although they're fine. They're better than the old white buds, but they're not exactly going to pull up any trees. But it does make a lot of sense to me. Unless they're going to give you some lightning headphones in the box, then...
Or they can just give you an adapter.
Yeah, but I mean, if Apple don't really like adapters, do they?
They do.
That's
the new
Apple,
MacBook.
Apple needs about 40 adapters to put everything in.
And think how much they can charge for that adapter.
That MacBook doesn't have the adapter for all the bits and pieces.
I know, but
that's the point.
Patrick's saying that Apple don't like adapters.
Not in the
Apple
box.
love adapters.
In the box. It's in the box, though. And I
That's
think
the key bit.
they are going to, given that the amount that they're talking about the way that you use your phone and that sound and Siri is so important to it, to have something that doesn't then allow you to have your headphones or the headphones. So I think that I would be very, very surprised if they actually do away with the jack.
I think when I got one of my first HTCs, maybe an Android one, it didn't have a 3.5mm connect. So it's actually not been a huge amount of time that we always had dedicated.
So the point of this is we had Nokia phones, this HTC, there was 2.5mm headphones.
Yeah,
that was stupid. Yeah. They standardised and went on this thing now. What's going to happen clearly, right, is Apple will start pulling people, asking manufacturers to do more of this because it does make sense to get rid of another port.
Yeah.
So we'll see more and more Lightning enabled. It's not just Lightning though. It's USB, micro USB, USB Type-C. You can do all kinds of headphones. Sony does it as well already. So it makes sense. We'll start seeing that next 2 generations. Maybe 2018 we'll see some Asian manufacturers start dropping them, and some phones that aren't quite as high end will lose the headphone jack. And I think we'll start seeing it come through maybe iPhone 9. That's the point.
There we go. You heard it here first.
Yeah. So let's move on from Apple to Batman.
That's less of a good segue.
Yeah, it wasn't.
I couldn't think of anything. I was going Bat out of hell. So Super Siri. So I watched this trailer this morning.
Yes. So the new Batman vs Superman trailer hit the web today.
Was it today?
Last night, today. So about UK time. Within the last 24 hours.
Okay.
Hit the web.
So someone talked me through what this is about.
It's very different in tone to the last trailer. So
which I've also watched.
Yes, the last trailer was very dark
research.
and broody, very Zack Snyder-ish, because obviously Man of Steel was dark and broody and not very funny. So what they've tried to make this new trailer into is a buddy cop. Oh, look, what's happening is all fun and games here.
They've tried to go full Whedon, haven't they, on the trailer?
Yeah.
And I think the darkness was probably too much in the first one. But actually, given that they built... So part of the trailer is building up this rivalry between why Batman hates Superman. Superman's destroyed his city and it's Gotham versus... And then it's like, hey, is she with you? No, I thought she was with you. Yeah, that's really funny, guys. We're a buddy. It's all a bit weird.
So talk me through what's the... I should really know this, but... So is this post-Bale? Is it an alternate universe? I mean, what is
it's
Ben Affleck supposed to be Christian Bale?
So there's a brilliant rumour going around the internet, which is completely false, that actually Ben Affleck isn't playing Batman, he's playing somebody else, and Christian Bale's going to pop up.
You heard it
That's
first.
definitely not going to happen. So it's post-Bale.
Yep.
It follows on from Man of Steel, which there's a big... Patrick would say this as well. There was a massive controversy about Man of Steel that Superman broke a lot of buildings and probably killed quite a few people with all the fighting.
Yeah.
So they took that controversy.
That's been the really good bit about Jessica Jones and Daredevil.
Marvel, so there's a comeback from what's happened.
Mm-hmm.
So people are going, no, you can't crash buildings like
consequence.
this. A consequence. That was the word I was looking for, not comeback. A consequence. So essentially, so they've taken that riff, whether or not that was going to be part of the script anyway, but people were really angry that Superman would do all this carnage. They've taken that. Batman is not happy that Superman broke all these buildings. He saw what was happening in New York and stuff. So essentially, that's it. So Batman wants to now fight Superman.
So a lot of what caused the whole Bale Batman stuff was a book called The Dark Knight, which is by Frank Miller, which is a classic book, really, and very dark and very one of the things that really brought comic books to adults. It had that kind of thematic that it mattered you along with some of the really important work.
I have seen it in a bookshop.
And I think they really felt like they could follow through that. They don't want to be the Avengers universe. They don't want to be the Marvel comic universe. They want to be DC, and they want to be a bit grittier. And the Batman films really reset the whole comic book kind of thing, as you can have really serious.
There's
dark...
no nipples on a Batman.
Well, exactly, and it needed that because it went full 60s by the end of the kind of Batman and Robin and Batman Returns. Yeah. So I think that was really important, and I think they're kind of trying to follow through with that. But Superman felt too tonally dark, right down to the colours being really dark. I mean, it's a pretty miserable watch. And then this one, I feel like they need to sort of lighten things up a little, but also they want to keep that grittiness. So I think they want the best of both worlds. But actually, in fairness, I watched the trailer and it made me more likely to want to watch the film than
It's exciting.
Are you excited?
No, I think it's absolutely pointless. What stupid,
What, films?
stupid. No, not films in general.
Entertainment
Just
is silly. Work is important.
Just this film.
Productivity.
Just this film.
Efficiency.
Ugh.
Communism.
Why? Like, bore off. Like, everybody knows Superman would easily win.
He would.
But he says that in the trailer. That's the interesting point. Though Superman goes,
it's not. It's
if
not.
I wanted to kill you
He
by
uses
now,
laser
I
eyes.
would have.
Okay,
So why are they fighting then?
Why are they fighting?
Yeah, the bit of the trailer where
they're
they fight,
killing them.
he would just
Like,
stand on his neck.
you know.
Yeah, but no, there's going to be a plot point to that. Of
What,
course,
that he's
there is.
lost his
And also,
made of kryptonite?
Batman's got super armor on. It's going
What's
to be
Superman? Oh,
Yeah.
bore off, as John says. Let's
Yeah.
talk about Mark
It-
Zuckerberg instead.
It's a stupid film. Next.
So, Mark Zuckerberg's going to give away loads of money because he's had a baby.
Fun. Yep.
That's the premise, really. So,
Yep.
$45 billion worth of shares, 99% of his shares in Facebook. Is that a good thing? Yes or no? I think so. It's charity.
Yes.
Well, it is charity, but I mean, there's been a bit of inevitably there's a backlash. Man does nice thing. Let's hammer him for it. So there's been this sort of weird backlash about the fact that he's not giving away 99% tomorrow. He's doing it over the rest of his life, and that it's actually a limited company. It's not just straight to a charity. He's not just giving it to cancer research or to Bill Gates Foundation. He's actually set up his own company.
But the Bill Gates Foundation is an interesting part. Is this like Bill Gates? Is this him to do the same thing?
I think when you have more money than basically the rest of the planet,
Yeah.
I don't think giving stuff away becomes important to you. You want to leave a legacy,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you look at what Bill Gates has done. I think what Bill Gates has done has transformed him as a man.
Yeah.
The more he's got involved, the more he's realised how important it is. I think having a kid changes your worldview as well, and I think that's happened with Zuckerberg. And I think regardless of what percentage of the money goes to charity will be richer for the fact that a billionaire wants to invest his money in doing something for good. And I think he deserves praise for that. And I think being sniffy about, the fact it's a tax saving and 333 million will come straight back to him in tax. Well, yeah, but that's still quite a lot of money that doesn't come back to him.
And also, we don't know what he's going to do with that. I mean, he could find a way to reinvest that anyway. But so is this limiting holding company the same as the foundation that they're doing, or is it separate? Is it different? I mean,
it's different, but I mean, they're all kind of meaningless words at a given point.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Lots of money
the
going to
intent
good
of what he
people.
wants to
there's gonna
do,
be
which is
billions
he
going to
wants to do
charity
something
eventually.
good so people remember him, not for the whole controversy about whether Facebook was his idea, not because they thought Facebook is a power for good or a power for evil, but he wants to be remembered for doing something good, and he's trying to do something
He was
good.
already doing it with internet.org, so he's trying to bring the internet to everybody.
but then you could say that's not so altruistic because it's more people
See,
internet,
again,
more people says
that's
Facebook.
a lot of cynicism. I genuinely
Yeah, but
think
if your
that
company if your company is an internet company, you try and give more people internet,
but I
more
think-
people have be a customer.
I think Facebook is more powerful than he ever thought it would be. He's not the
Rise
sort of
up.
person to go, it needs to be more powerful. He just genuinely isn't that sort of person. I think
Well,
he
do you
looked
know
at
him?
internet, no, but
All right.
the way, I don't know, he
Biographer
just,
Mark Jacksfield.
but no, it just feels like internet.org was a simply, if people can get on the internet and understand things better,
Yes.
it will make the
Okay.
world a better place.
It's just that who it comes
Oh
from.
yes,
is always
they
an
might
interesting thing.
start to go to Facebook a bit more and stuff like that. That's probably that's a byproduct. Of
I think it is interesting that when Bill Gates set up his foundation, he kind of stepped away from
Yeah.
Microsoft, whereas Zuckerberg is very much front and centre of
Yeah.
Facebook still.
Do
And I
you think
that's-
that this is the first step away then?
Well, I wouldn't blame him. I mean, there's no point being a billionaire if you can't spend your time enjoying counting your money,
Exactly.
diving into a pool of coins like Scrooge McDuck, or whatever billionaires want to do with their money.
How would you do that? I was thinking about this the other day. How would you actually dive
Really
into a pool of
hurt.
money?
You can't do it.
You'd have to have an air filtration system,
There's
and a little bit of air
mass,
in between each.
I think when you're
pound.
that rich, you could develop that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Use notes, not coins.
Yeah, but
No, but you
if
want to go
bring
proper
McDuck,
Scrooge McDuck.
Be able to blow money out of your mouth when you jump up and all that kind of stuff, and still wear a top hat at the same time.
I'd say go notes.
Yeah, we're knocking on a bit of a bad place, aren't
We're
we?
all cashless now anyway.
Yeah.
You just jump into it and you just break your neck.
Jump
'cause
into a field of Apple Pay phones.
yeah.
Oh, we're knocking on something bad here. Not knocking. Nokia. What's that about?
Oh, this is awful. Go on.
I'm trying to think of worse ones each time. I'm going to get amazing by the end. So, do you remember Nokia? Apparently, it could be back with an Android phone.
Don't remember it.
No. So, very quickly though, I mean, obviously, we don't want to go too far down. Oh, which is best, Nokia? Blah blah.
You don't want to get boring.
Exactly. Smartphones are boring as circa Chaka's 2015.
Go on, keep talking, and I'll tell you if it is
Exactly.
or
So,
You're
very
not helping your cause.
not. No, you're not. So far, boring.
Okay.
Let's see if it veers over.
right. Nokia could be back.
I can
Blah,
huff
blah,
if you
blah.
want me
Get
to.
in there. Get in there.
But the important thing here is not
I'm
about
really
which brand it is.
intrigued.
In the UK, we're mental about phones.
Are we?
Yes. Compared
Especially you.
Yes, love
Compared
it.
to the
I
rest
love
of the
a phone.
world, we have a very different view of everything
We
in
do.
the UK, and this is
Yeah.
obviously going out to the world. And everyone say you are mental because we love Nokia, we love Sony over here because we had Nokias, we had Sony Ericssons in the past.
There's a legacy that
Exactly.
we like, isn't there?
So Sony is still a massive brand over here. When you tell people in the UK that Sony's doing badly around the world, they're like, what? Why? They're brilliant phones. Everyone's got a Sony. It's the best phone in the world. I remember my Sony Ericsson.
James
the
Bond's
Walkman.
got a Sony. He must be doing well.
Although at least this time he has a decent phone. But so Nokia coming back with an Android phone. Quick round. Patrick, good thing?
No.
John?
Yes.
Patrick. No, you're Patrick. You're Mark.
Mark,
On the brain.
yes, because you said it'd be amazing earlier. So I'm gonna trust
I
my
didn't say
phone's
that at
editor.
all.
You were
So-
like, it's amazing. Nokia's back. I can play
No.
Snake. La, 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 la.
I think, don't just make things
Well,
up.
I made most
said
of that
people
up,
in the
yes,
country,
but you did say it'd be
people in
amazing.
the country would be excited because
Yeah.
Nokia is a brand they recognise and they
So
like.
can I
Yeah,
explain?
but it's not
can
the
I
brand it
explain
once
why?
was.
Can I explain? Yeah, I mean, it's
But 25 seconds.
it's not that thrilling. They're not going to do the best Android phone in the world unless they come back and do something that's genuinely like game changing. They're just playing off the legacy of people liking Nokia. So
Yeah.
by all means, come in and do something that blows our socks off. But the reality is, they're going to come back and it'll be a fine phone, probably okay.
Well, earlier this year they launched an Android tablet, and that was fantastic. Unfortunately, it was only available in China. So if
So what-
if
okay,
the
so
phone
we
is
got-
anything like that, that'd be awesome.
They've got a lot of love in the UK. Why didn't they launch it here?
Well,
Silly.
Yeah, exactly. But it's the whole deal about where you can distribute it. There's licensing.
Right.
There's all this.
It wasn't out and out Nokia. It was licensed through Foxconn.
Right.
So yeah, it wasn't a clear cut.
Yeah.
So basically, they're playing off the name. So
Well, yeah,
there's no
exactly.
guarantee that Nokia's next venture will be any better than any bog standard.
No, and also
Chinese
there's
manufactured
licensing
phone.
problems with Microsoft. They bought the name, blah blah. It's all very boring.
Yeah.
Sorry, I meant to say fairy lights.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Sorry,
Fairy
sorry.
lights.
It's gone again.
No, you didn't.
How
intrigue me on
convinced
that.
are you that phones are interesting again now, Chackers?
I'm actually now. That's worse. You made it worse for yourself.
You've ruined my fairy lights.
No, I haven't. I heard it,
Yeah.
and they heard it.
Oh,
Do you want to say it again?
Are those bells? Christmas bells?
Thanks, John.
That's right.
What happens at Christmas? Decorations.
Santa! I know him!
Doesn't your Wi-Fi go slow at Christmas? Is that-
Apparently.
really? Okay. Colour me intrigued.
Oh, this is fine. Wi-Fi speeds. Well, now you've got me.
Now I'm
Jack
here.
is back.
Back in the room.
So the story is that apparently, according to Ofcom, your fairy lights could make your Wi-Fi slower.
It's a story, but it's also a very non-story.
Yes,
And
exactly.
this is-
Non-story story.
Yes.
It's being sold as something which is new for 2015, and oh my god, but actually it's been happening for years.
Why,
and
John?
Pretty much anything in your house can affect your Wi-Fi speed.
Because
Because
electromagnets.
radiators, microwaves.
Radiators aren't technology.
No, radiators can affect
Yeah,
your
but
Wi-Fi
like
speed.
the
too.
first you said after technology was radiators.
But I said anything as well.
Okay, fine. Okay.
Can I say I did not know this?
What?
That Christmas lights would affect your Wi-Fi. I genuinely didn't know. I read it. Went, oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Park that. Intrigued.
Well, they've done research, which is why it's surfaced. They've actually
Yeah.
gone out and checked this
Yeah.
stuff. I don't think anyone with a brain would be, apart from maybe Chackers, up for discussion.
Yeah.
Who would be surprised that electricity somehow affects Wi-Fi, because
Yeah.
of course it does. And you're basically, like John says, a lot of the stuff in your home. Well, anyone that lives in a concrete house would know that getting Wi-Fi from one room to another is a nightmare.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a big story. Let's be honest. I don't know how much it's going to influence people. Are you not going to put your Christmas lights up because it'll affect your Wi-Fi?
I think it's more the other way around. Once you're at Christmas and you're trying to stream stuff and you've spent £3 on 100-metre fairy lights, which is the cheap ones that are the worst ones, and you thought, I can't get to anything, at least you'll know why now.
I think we need more cables. That would get through the whole problem. Just
Yeah.
plug a little broadband cable into your phone.
Yeah.
Let's have it thicker so you can have a full-on
Ethernet
like,
cable, yeah.
Ethernet
You have a
cable.
mobile phone LAN party.
Yeah, well, that would be pretty awesome.
I think Philips needs to come out with a Hue kind of Christmas tree lights.
Hue?
thing. Hugh.
Hugh?
Oh, bless his soul. Hope he's okay.
What is his usual feature?
Did I just make a segue for you?
I was
Okay.
thinking, I was going to segue into Hugh's comments of the week, and Chuck has just laid it
Okay,
up.
there we go. So, from Philips Hue Christmas lights, the humorous comments of the week, which are now obviously
Thank you for just putting down that segue just in case no one got
Mark's
it.
comments of the week.
No,
can't
doesn't
do
work. It's
Mark's
still
comments
Hugh's-
of the
No.
week.
By Mark.
Mark's point of view.
Mark's point of view. Hugh.
Mark this down.
Yeah,
A
okay,
mark-
so
a
the whole
mark-
idea,
a mark
this is-
against them.
Mark against them. The whole idea that Hugh created this, so I'm trying to just emulate a little bit, is I take comments from either YouTube, Twitter, or Facebook, or even our own site.
Goodness.
I know.
Trying to emulate this a little bit.
TechRadar.com
and many.
Sorry, just trying to emulate this a little bit.
Yeah.
Word for word using
Yeah, word
his
for
thing.
word.
Okay,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So this is exactly the
just to
same.
be clear.
And you have to tell me what story they're from.
Let's do it.
So first
Okay,
one
jump
is
in.
from Grumpy Boy on Twitter. Is that
Legend.
you, Patrick?
I don't know where this grumpy
man.
thing's come from.
Okay.
I huffed once
Yeah.
when I've been bored by phones.
You wait, when we're famous, that huff's going to be there. Okay, so Grumpy Boy on Twitter said, what does the update come with? A free copy of Trump's biography? What story would that been from? I'll say it again. Grumpy Boy on Twitter said, what does the update come with? A free copy of Trump's biography?
I can't think of any update stories this week.
Black Friday deals.
No, that's good. You're close.
Trump
Cyber
as in
Monday deals.
Donald Trump.
You're not
biography.
close, by the way.
Okay,
That wasn't
go on
close at all. So this was news that the Amazon Fire tablet update may help you sleep better.
Oh, okay.
So
It's a
what?
sleeping tablet.
Yay! So what it
The
does,
headline.
what it does is it reduces the blue light from the screen, which is meant to help you sleep better when you go to bed. So what does it come with? A free copy of Trump's biography. Zing! Look at that
Okay.
from Grumpy Boy. Number 2, Black God 59 said. When did
I
they
like
come
to
up
believe
with
there's
these names?
58 black ones.
Yeah,
in
there's
front of them
another
going,
58 going,
and again.
Can't believe. Well, do you reckon he's typing in Black one, God 1? No. Black God 2? No. 10? No.
Maybe he was born in 59.
No, that definitely wasn't the reason.
He's not that old to make such a witty comment.
Okay, so this is you're gonna get this quick, one of you. So I want to see how fast.
Quickly.
Pass the finger first.
Okay, who else clicked on this video because they thought the phone came out broken out of the box from the
Motor
picture?
X4's hands on.
There we go.
Oh,
Can you say the whole?
So the comment is, okay, who else clicked on this video because they thought the phone came and broken out of the box from the picture of the video?
I love that John's competitive urge overwhelmed his need to not let you finish.
He said it was who gets it.
What have I won? I've won the internet.
So you are completely right. It's our YouTube video of the Moto X Force, the phone with the unbreakable screen.
Starving me.
Starring John McCann.
Get out.
So just so we're clear so far, Hughes
Yeah.
would be better. Hughes, this.
Hang on, I've got another 2 to go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm just saying, step up.
Mark likes building towards an end game.
Yeah.
I
Right.
know this.
Che Bramley said, love to see them try that with loo paper.
Oh well, that's the first person signing up to flushes.
My God, you're right. No, it's not. All I can say is I can't believe we wrote the story. I didn't check who wrote it, but it might be the most boring story in the entire world.
Was it Desiree?
Probably.
Excellent.
So I'll say again, Che Bramley said, love to see them try that with loo paper.
Something
Oh,
about
something about a data center.
Close.
Did we write something up blog rolls?
The story is that
Uncle Patrick.
the story is that Epson Paper Lab promises the ultimate in efficiency for office paper recycling. We wrote this story.
No.
We actually wrote this story.
No, but do you know what's worse than that? I didn't see it on the site. This morning I was checking the feeds, and there was a story that got 1,200 shares, which is a lot on the Feedly thing.
Yeah.
And it was that one, but it was saying Epson wants to do I think it was Engadget did. Epson wants to put a recycling centre in your office, and everyone loved that.
That was a
better
better
headline.
headline than that one. Okay, final one. Claire Sanderson said, and there's a literally in this.
Just so you're clear, by the way, this is better be good. Otherwise,
Oh, give over. Claire Sanderson said
Calm
you
down.
could literally have a child called Normal, and then Tyler James replied, "Pfft, you know our kid would be called Slumber." What story is that from?
I didn't quite understand.
You could literally have a child called Normal.
Okay.
Our kid would be called Slumber. I don't know if they're together, by the way. I don't know if it's our kid as in...
Or maybe they will be after this.
So think about it. Names. Why would you be naming your children?
People are naming their kids after Instagram filters.
There we go. Story of the week.
Okay.
People are not just naming their kids on Instagram filters. It's on the rise. So obviously they were doing it before, and now it's getting more.
What are the names of Instagram filters? I can't
Normal
think of
and
any.
Slumber.
Okay.
Oh, lack of research. It's going to scupper this.
Polarizing filter. I don't know. I don't know what the names are. Genuinely don't.
Not hipster enough.
Vintage.
Vintage.
Vintage is good.
Vintage Beavis has a nice ring to it.
Is that an Instagram filter? Not hipster enough.
Okay, I think watching a man tap on his phone is going to be even more boring than hearing him
Okay, good.
talk
So
about
there you
it.
go. That was Mark's comments of the week. Not quite as good as you. Hopefully he gets better soon to take this on.
That's the full name of it.
Yeah.
So, Magic Gadget Drawer is back.
He's still calling it that.
Well, go on, what's a better name for it?
I
Hall of Fame.
No.
Normal.
The slumbering gadget drawer. So, Patrick, your first experience of this?
It is.
And
I'm
so
quite excited.
We want you to induct something into the Magic Gadget drawer. So far, we've got the Nokia 3310 and a Game Boy Color in there.
Yeah, and we didn't. Yeah, my one wasn't in.
And the
Creative
original
Zen.
Star Wars trilogy.
Oh, sorry.
Oh
yeah.
yes, the original
Yeah.
Star Wars trilogy.
Okay, that's a good drawer so far. So
Solid draw.
you open that
It's
up.
quite a full drawer.
I'm gonna fill some more space.
Yeah.
Are you though?
Okay, so don't just to be clear, you can't tell us what it is. We've got to try and guess to start with your stats.
So cast your minds back to 1985.
You haven't got any notes, which worries me. But okay.
It's in
John
there.
McCann was
Okay.
merely an
8.
8-year-old. 1985? You were not 8.
I thought you said 1995.
1985.
Film wasn't
I
born.
was a mere twinkle.
You were a mere twin. One of my favourite gadgets of all time came out. It sold in excess of 5 million. Any hints?
It's an Atari, isn't it?
Big track.
The
Was it in excess?
you
of
say
clue?
Atari,
Was it
you are
musical?
bang wrong.
Okay.
Ooh, bad
Embarrassing.
guess.
Okay.
In fact, the worst guess.
ZX Spectrum.
Keep going.
Again, let me speak. The company that made it went bust, and then came back, and then
Enron.
went bust,
Commodore
and then
64.
came back again.
No.
Getting closer, getting warmer.
You need a file.
It introduced us to the likes of Sensible World of Soccer, Kickoff 2,
Commodore Amiga.
Commodore Amiga.
There we
That
go.
wasn't wrong.
Genuinely one of the most important UK products. Interestingly, didn't do very well in America.
Yeah. Okay, so what you've got to tell us why? I mean, it's going to be a pretty big drawer to fit that in.
It's a very big draw.
Okay, why should it be in? You tell us why. You've got to sell us on this because right now.
Well, for an awful lot of people, this was what really turned them on to the world of the PC and the connected PC as well. It was the first one that really started to bring some of the internet stuff. I mean, people still talk about the Commodore OS or the Amiga OS as one of the most important sort of steps along the way. I mean, obviously PC was competing with it at the time, but yeah, it was for gamers. You know, it was just fun. People had come from the ZX Spectrum. The British gaming industry was burgeoning at that point. You had a load of people that had started coding on the ZX Spectrum, wanted to make games. Suddenly the Amiga gave them a more professional platform to show it
But
off.
why did you love it? That's what we need to know.
I mean, it was
A lot of
one
people
of my...
have been born and were listening to this.
It was one
when this
of
out.
the all-time best gaming machines, and also it had that classic thing that you need from every generation, which was it had a massive rivalry.
Yeah.
It was you were
Atari
Atari
ST,
ST, or you
yeah.
were Commodore Amiga, and you would fight to the death in the playgrounds, and there was a lot of murders in playgrounds at that point, just for this reason,
Grim
to justify why you thought the Amiga or like I say that there was banter about how bad the sound chip was in the Atari ST. Looking back, probably a bit silly, but
That's
but
massive banter right there.
But it had some of the best games of all time on as
Such
well.
as?
So I mean, Sensible World of
Sensible
Soccer,
Soccer.
I genuinely think.
Why was that awesome?
It was top down. It was all about gameplay. There was none of this messing around with trying to like mimic real life, which took about 25 years before they got it right. It was purely about the pleasure of playing games. Also, you used a zipstick joystick, which was the most indestructible thing known to mankind, apart from the Nokia 3310.
True. Checkers.
So I'm going to say no, but there's good reason for this. I love the Commodore 64. It was my first ever computer.
But you hate Patrick.
No, but I never went
Vendetta.
from Commodore 64 to the Amiga. But my best friend in Scotland had an Atari ST,
That's
and
quite a
so
commute
I was
from
on the other
Somerset.
rivalry.
Must take ages to get there. From
Yeah.
Somerset.
Yeah, well, it took a long time.
Yeah.
I think if anything, you've helped my cause with the other two, though.
I was an Atari ST fan. I'm afraid, even though I didn't have one, but my best mate did.
John.
Well, there's lots of words that I'm not familiar with, being of a certain age. So
Such as what?
Commodore and Amiga, chiefly.
Bludgeoning.
Sound chip.
Sound chips.
Sensible soccer.
Yes.
Joystick.
School. All of these things. But I trust Patrick, so I'll let it stay.
Dropping the trust bomb.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's never lied about living in Scotland.
Good points.
Okay, so I'm on the fence. I need you to give me a one.
Right.
Well,
sentence.
you're sat next to Mark.
Yeah.
He's rubbing off.
Hello.
I want a one sentence convincer. Because I like it. It's just I feel like our audience might be confused about why it's good. And I feel you need one more thing to sell me.
It was a lovely colour of beige.
Ooh.
Dropping the beige bombs now.
No, it's not in.
Oh,
no.
I feel like I need to rescind now. I thought we'd definitely go in. I was the
got
only
a
one who's going
tiebreak.
to say no.
2-2.
No, it's not. Pat doesn't get those.
I see. Now.
Well, if anything, it frees up some room in the drawer. But you're
Yes,
you're all wrong. So
I feel
that's
sad,
fine.
even though
I was
voted
ready.
no.
You went with beige.
Well, it was beige. You can't
I know,
lie
but
about the
not
colour.
not as a reason to put it in.
It was a nice beige.
It was on the quality side of beige.
Yeah.
Fine, okay, it's going.
Yeah.
The quality side of beige. It's in.
Boring beige in.
Okay, right. I think that's us all done with so much hilarity. I think
It
it's
sums up this podcast on the quality side of beige.
So thanks everyone for listening. We have been It's GIF Not GIF, the TechRadar Massive in the house. As I was saying, it was getting worse.
No.
So let's all say goodbye. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like, subscribe. Thank you very much for liking if you have done already. Follow us on SoundCloud if you're listening there. There's Twitter, there's Facebook, there's Instagram, there's Bebo, there's MySpace. Some of those aren't real, but thanks very much, and we'll see you again soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.